Thank you, Brian. Good evening, everybody. When I got the call about this event this evening a couple of months ago, I was quite surprised because I actually never thought I was that good. Then I'm up here tonight with guys like Seal Flurry, Mike King, and the rest of these gentlemen. It's quite an honor. And I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame for including me with these gentlemen this evening. Now, there's a couple people I'd like to say thank you to that have helped me throughout my career or starting my career. And number one is my family. I have my sister Nancy, my brother Jeff, my brother Pete that are here tonight, along with my son and his wife and my wife Sue. And I'd like to thank my family for helping me and supporting me as I started out. I'd especially like to thank my brother Jeff. He played with the Winnipeg Rangers. And well, I was playing Bantam hockey, and he coached me in Bantam and taught me pretty much everything I know about the game. Taught me how to hip check, which became one of my fortes in my career for being a small man. And I'd really like to thank Jeff for everything he did for me over the years, which reminds me of a real quick story. Back, I think it was, I started the season in Quebec in American Hockey League. I played 3 or 4 games, and then I got called up to the Philadelphia Flyers. It was an NBC Game of the Week, which was a big deal back in those days because it was broadcast throughout the United States and Canada. And like I said, I was just new. Now, we get I'm on the bench, and my first or second shift on the ice, I'm going out. It was 4 against 4, 2 guys in the box. My defense partner said to me, he says, I'm sure a lot of you will remember the name Carl Brewer. He was a great player with the Toronto Maple Leafs for years, Stanley Cup championships, I don't know how many he had, but he's now with Detroit towards the end of his career. My partner says to me, now look out for this Brewer. He moves the puck well, he's got a great head deep or whatever you call it. And I said, yeah, whatever. They couldn't have been 20 seconds later, he came down on me, gave me this one. I think I went 8 feet to the right. He walked in, Bernie Front was our goaltender, we did the same thing to him, scored, and I'm like, welcome to the NHL. So after the game, fortunately, we ended up tying the game 2-2. And after the game, I called my brother Jeff, because I'm pretty excited. I just found out I'm with the Flyers to stay for the season at least. So I called Jeff and I said, Jeff, I finally made it to the NHL. Did you see me? He says, did I see you? Brewer put such a move on you to show the replay about 12 times. So thank you, Jeff. A couple of coaches I'd like to mention that helped me throughout my career that influenced me a lot. The first being Gordy Pennell, who coached me for 3 years with the Winnipeg Rangers. The other two, to me, were the best coaches that I ever had in my career was Fred Shiro and Joe Crozier. So I'd like to say thanks to them. There's one other person I'd like to mention, and a lot of you may know his name. His name's Don Baisley, who is an agent. I'm sure many of you know him, and for some reason I became Don's first client. And I think he did pretty well after me. But it happened that the WHA started in 1972, and around that time nobody really had agents or lawyers or whatever when he was starting. And through my brother Jeff, I got drafted by Minnesota. And a lot of guys were like afraid to jump to that league because they didn't know if the league was even going to start, going to happen, whatever. So we called Don, and he looked after me, and I probably had maybe one of the better contracts in the whole WHA. Yeah, not monetarily wise, but I had a 3-year contract that went bank for the next 3 years. So I thought that was pretty special back in those days. And he looked after me for a few more years after that. And one thing I wanted to do before my career ended was play in Europe. And he got me a job in Helsinki, Finland, where I played and coached for 2 years. And that was great. So thank you, Don. Not least, I'd like to thank my parents for the support and hand-me-down equipment for my 2 brothers. I always had new skates, new hockey sticks, and it was just wonderful. And in those days, They did come and watch me play all the time. I'm sure you've heard this old cliche, playing outside. Well, I actually never played indoors until I was 16 years old, so they were out in the snowbanks watching me play. And I really appreciate everything they did for me. I only wish my father could be here. He passed away several years ago. And my mother, God bless her, she's 93 years old, lives in the Vancouver area. She's probably a bigger hockey fan than any of you out there. She knows every player on the Canucks, who their line mates are, their goals, their assists, their injuries, they're married or single. She knows everything about them. And to show you what kind of fan she is, I called her last winter. I was in Cleveland, and I don't talk to her obviously as much as I should. But I called her last winter and said, "Hello, Mom, it's Terry." She says, "The Canucks are on TV. Call me back." So anyway, I'd like to thank you for having me up here tonight. Thanks to the Hall of Fame for letting me in with these other gentlemen. Have a nice evening.